gotten a couple of impressive wins since then, Chris, thank you, including a win at Kansas. Went into Allen Fieldhouse and beat them by 16. This is a dangerous bunch of Bearcats, and this should be a very interesting and close game between two teams with a lot to play for.
And one of the most versatile players in the country in Baba Miller for the Bearcats.
Fourth-year players started at Florida State. Celestine the miss. Miller got a hand on it out of bounds, and it will stay with Cincinnati. Baba Miller versatile in terms of he can score. He's a terrific rebounder and also a great facilitator.
And one of the best defensive rebounders you're going to find. Averages just under 4 assists per game as well, to your point about being a facilitator.
Driving it here, too strong off the window, and down with the rebound, Jordan Burks.
And this UCF team, they shoot a good percentage from 3. And this is the catalyst. Themis Fulks, an excellent passer.
And give him an assist on the turnaround by John Bull, who Johnny Dawkins told us yesterday so improved, much improved, Jay, from the beginning of the season.
And his rim protection, if he can stay in good help side position and block and change shots around the rim, that really helps UCF's defense, and his teammates can get out in passing lanes, put pressure on the ball without fear.
Chris told you how Cincinnati beat the Knights by 20 in February. In January, UCF beat Cincinnati by 1. Fultz with a game-winning jumper, so they have split a pair of regular season meetings. A high arcing three for Mustafa Cham, a 7'2" sophomore from Senegal who has been playing at a very high level in recent weeks.
Well, his last 9 games, he's averaging just under 18 points and over 9 rebounds per game. And he's had a couple of really good games against UCF. 24 points in the first one, 15 points in the second.
Johnny Dawkins, as I mentioned, a guy you know well. Why don't you take it away on your former teammate?
Well, Johnny Dawkins, one of the best human beings I've ever known in my life, but just an outstanding coach. Started his head coaching career at Stanford, took Stanford to the Sweet 16, won an NIT championship, and he's in year 10 at UCF, and he's got a good team.
Got them into the tournament in 2019 as a 9 seed. They beat VCU, and then they lost by 1 point in the second round. That was the Taco Fall team, the Zion Williamson, R.J. Barrett team. Remember that game? He would love, the fan base would love for them to get back into the tournament this year, and they are right on the cusp. A win today would certainly help their case. Jizzle James rattles home a 3 and a couple of early threes for the Bearcats.
Well, Jizzle James since early February shooting 49% from 3. He and Day Thomas have shot the ball pretty well.
Celestine as well, including yesterday. Ball rejected out of bounds to the Bearcats.
Cincinnati has size and length around the basket, and they can block or change a lot of shots. And a nice job relocating just that shake action from the corner up to the wing by Jizzle James.
A lot of experience on this Cincinnati roster. 4 of the 5 starters are 1,000-point scorers in their collegiate careers. Celestine fires a pass in. Miller struggles to hang on to it, and it's out of bounds to UCF.
Boy, nice job by Jamichael Stillwell. They are trapping that ball screen action, and Celestine didn't handle it as well as perhaps he wanted to. But just trying to disrupt Cincinnati on their offensive end.
Stillwell is a very interesting player. Physical, determined, works hard. Has been dealing with an ankle injury. Often has a boot on his foot. But Johnny Dawkins just praises him for his ability to play through the injury.
Boy, incredibly strong as well. He takes on a lot of tough defensive assignments. Guarded A.J. DeBonson when they played BYU, and now he's on Baba Miller, giving up a lot of height.
Miller drives, banks it too strong, and here comes Stillwell.
But good job by UCF to make him take the tough 2 going away from the basket. Angled out Baba Miller for that tough shot.
And Riley Kugel had Jordan Burks in transition, just led him a little bit too far. As you will see from Johnny Dawkins, I don't know if stoic is the right word, but his expression does not change very often on that sideline. Celestine who had the 19 points yesterday. He's been shooting the ball at a better than a 50% clip from beyond the arc over the last 9 games.
He had 19 points against Utah. He had 18 against BYU. And when he's open for catch and shoot, you have to make him put the ball on the deck. Celestine can really shoot it in catch and shoot situations.
A great start for Wes Miller's Bearcats, up 7, 3.5 minutes in. Again, 7-2 in their last 9 coming in. Good matchup here. Sham over Bull, and it rattles out.
Boy, how high is that release? He gets that ball so high over his head.
I mean, you don't often see 7-2 against 7-2 these days, but both of those guys are legitimately that tall.
And Sham, he's unafraid. He's hit 13 threes on the year, including that one he hit just a minute ago. But he's unafraid to pull the trigger from the perimeter.
Stillwell, no. And Sham the rebound, and he got fouled by Bull. As we will step aside for the first time today, Jalen Celestine with an early 3.
On the season, Cincinnati does not shoot a crazy high percentage from 3. They're 34%. That's 14th in the Big 12. But they are 75% early in this game against UCF. Mustafa Cham knocking one down when they dared him to shoot it. And then Jizzle James and Jalen Celestine knocking down threes. Those are the only buckets that Cincinnati has. But they keep shooting them at this rate. You shoot 75% from 3 for a game, you're going to do well.
Not too shabby. They are the 9 seed coming off the win over Utah. The Utes pushed them, kind of stayed with them pretty much through the entire game. Cincinnati 18-14, 9-9 in the league. These two teams, these two programs, are relative newcomers to this conference as well. And this is a big one. The winner will advance on to the quarterfinals to meet the top seed, the Arizona Wildcats.
You know, when Cincinnati shoots it this well, of course, it's a huge bonus. But where they really hang their hat is on defense. And this is a team, the Cincinnati Bearcats, they only allow 6.3 fast break points per game. I mean, that's a remarkable statistic. That's top 15 in the country.
When I asked Johnny Dawkins yesterday, what's the first thing on your mind when you think about Cincinnati? To your point, his opening line was, they're one of the best defensive teams in the country. Just plain and simple. Baba Miller got knocked down or slipped, now back to his feet. Celestine looks for the open man. The shot fake, step in by Day Thomas, and it's 11-2.
Well, Day Thomas started out at Kilgore Junior College. But he is a really good on-ball defender, but an aggressive scorer that stays compact, got a ton of speed, just a great shot fake. And everybody says, oh, that's not a high-value shot. It is when you shot fake like that and you have that amount of time. That mid-range jumper can be very, very effective.
Again, a very experienced core here for the Bearcats. Not necessarily all of it in the Cincinnati program, of course. Keep an eye on a guy who has checked in for UCF, number 11 in white, Carmelo Pacheco. He is a shooter. Almost every shot he takes is from beyond the arc.
How about that handle by Fultz?
Tough shot by Stillwell, not close. Stillwell doing a good job trying to slow down Thomas. And then a block at the other end. Miller comes up with it, but eventually it is turned over to the Knights.
And there you can see the speed of Day Thomas in transition.
Still UCF ball. The Cincinnati bench. A couple of the players are yelling over towards the bench to challenge that, and now the call is overturned, so they're not going to have to. It'll be awarded to the Bearcats.
Yeah, just right off the foot of Johnson. So a 1-2-2 three-quarter court pressure just to slow the advance.
Keyshawn Tillery with the ball, a freshman from Albany, New York. An 11-0 run for the Bearcats after the Knights got the first basket of the game. Elijah Holsway, number 9 in white, called for the foul. Wes Miller looking on. His 5th season, 100 wins, 73 losses, has yet to take the Bearcats to the NCAA tournament. A win here today would strengthen their case. Nothing near a sure thing, I wouldn't think, but certainly a step in the right direction. A lot of contact, and we got a foul before the shot.
Yeah, Miller did a nice job of going right into the body of Cambridge to draw that foul. And Cincinnati having to play out of traps. You know, anytime there's a blitz, you get 2 on the ball, they are passing out of it. And especially if it's Baba Miller, you know, he's a good passer, but also with his size and length, he can see over the defense.
Good trap on Thomas. He gets out of it. Finds Celestine, who can't hit the 3. And it's into the hands of the Knights. This is Chris Johnson, the 6'5 junior from Houston. He'll elevate for a 3. And UCF ice cold in the early going.
And so far, Cincinnati doing a good job on the defensive glass, not giving up a second chance opportunity. Here's a mismatch.
Miller dumps it down and turns it over to Devin Cambridge.
Well, he needed to shoot that ball.
Johnson will try it again and hit it this time, and they needed that.
One of the rare transition opportunities because of the turnover from Baba Miller. And Johnson had 16 points and 6 assists against Cincinnati, 6 of 13 from the field.
Tillery got caught in the air. Fortunate he didn't turn that over. Boy, good ball pressure here by Pacheco on Celestine.
Boy, Pacheco could have had that steal, but he was looking, he's basically face guarding Celestine. They're not leaving Celestine.
Tillery left it a bit short, and it is out of bounds. UCF basketball.
When Baba Miller got the ball guarded by Themis Folks, he needed to shoot that ball. He winds up trying to make a pass, threw it into traffic. And that's what started. That was the catalyst to start the UCF fast break. And this is a Cincinnati team, as we discussed before, that does not give a lot of fast break points up.
Cham back into the game for the Bearcats. Pretty potent combo up front in Baba Miller and a Mustafa Cham.
Well, Cham played at UCF, and he has had such a good year. All Big 12 honorable mention.
Had a phenomenal game in that win at Allen Fieldhouse against Kansas February 21st. 28 points and 8 rebounds on his birthday. Pretty good day. Eventually everybody gets settled. Folks to inbound. They won't give Pacheco any space at all. Nice backdoor cut and feed, and a slam for Kugel on the assist from Jeremy Fumena.
Just a simple step and go. Now with so many dribble handoffs being run, you're trying to blow those handoffs up. And he just gave a step toward the ball in the sideline and cut backdoor. Beautifully executed by Riley Kugel.
Kugel missed a couple of games recently with an ankle injury. He is their leading scorer on the season at 14.7 points per game. But this is their most important player, Themis Folks. It's out of bounds, still UCF ball. Folks doesn't get a lot of attention, notoriety, but one of the better point guards in this league. Another look at this play.
Just a terrific back cut on the ball reversal by Riley Kugel. Kugel started his career at Florida playing for Todd Golden, transferred to Mississippi State and now UCF. And he's really matured as a player. He's got a ton of talent.
And here is Kugel. Back to Fumena. Johnson has just come in for Folks. Pass deflected. Kugel has it. Shot clock a factor.
Guarded by Sincere Harris, who's an excellent on-ball defender.
Pacheco had to hoist it, and it comes down to Cham and the Bearcats.
There's an example of Cincinnati's defense. They are just, you don't want to say bulldogs, but they're Bearcats, but man, they are tough defensively.
Cham trying to get into the paint and lost it on the way up. Good D by Fumena. Cambridge, a 7th-year player. The COVID year and a couple of medical red shirts. And now we got a foul on the floor to take us to a timeout with 11:36 to go. It has been a bit of a grind here in the early going for both the Bearcats and the Knights. But again, the 8-9 game here for the Big 12 tournament brings a lot of importance, a lot on the line for these two bubble teams. Points, 9 rebounds, and 6 assists in a win last night over Kansas State. So now the Cougars have advanced into round 2. You can see that game on ESPN2 tonight as they take on West Virginia. He's got fans everywhere he goes, a very special talent. And listen, they miss Richie Saunders a lot. That is obvious. They haven't played great down the stretch for the most part. That is obvious. But they're the kind of team, with him leading the way, Jay, you never know what they could do in a tournament like this.
As long as they get some contributions. Obviously, Robert Wright III has to score for the Cougars, but they need a third scorer. What a block by Chom, but Stillwell stuck with it.
Let's go to Chris.
Johnny Dawkins during that timeout, the focus was movement, body movement and ball movement. He thought they had been too stagnant. He said it starts getting a rebound and sprinting down the floor because Cincinnati struggles with what we're able to do with our movement.
Chris, thank you again. They split their 2 meetings during the regular season. Celestine, no. Stillwell, the rebound in traffic. Demas Folks on the bench for UCF. Went out before that last time out. Remains on the bench right now. Kugel short.
Just off that ball screen, that was a settle by Riley Kugel.
Tillery from the wing for 3. The 4th made 3 of the game already for the Bearcats.
You take a bad shot, and that's a shot that Riley Kugel can make on the other end, but a bad shot is the first pass in your opponent's fast break, and that's what that turned out to be. Now all of a sudden UCF two in a row are scrambling back.
And great hustle by the big man Sham running the floor. And the lead is back to 7 now for Cincinnati. UCF is just 4 for 17. 23.5% so far, and that one's not close.
And those are 3 in a row of really low percentage shots that have started the UC break.
Celestine, the step in, too strong.
And one thing you really can't do against Cincinnati is take a shot off the first action. This is a very good defensive team, but you want to move the help defense and then attack it.
Stillwell trying to take advantage of the mismatch, but it's knocked out of bounds.
As soon as Cincinnati secures the rebound, Mustafa Cham just a rim run right down the center of the floor, and that's a heck of a catch on the run to be able to finish, even though there was some contact, could have gotten a foul. Mustafa Cham doing a really nice job running the floor.
That's 7-2 running the floor. 7-2. John Bull has just checked back in for UCF. That's him with the ball.
You know, big guys can run, man. Not all the little guys that can do it.
Bull almost had it taken away. And the shot clock expires, and another good defensive stand from Cincinnati.
Not everything Cincinnati does defensively is perfect. You're not going to be able to play perfect, but they play so hard through those mistakes. They make everything difficult. You know, Wes Miller, who played his college basketball at North Carolina for Roy Williams, he's on their 2005 national championship team and had a terrific run at UNC Greensboro before coming to Cincinnati.
And team to keep an eye on. Again, 7-2 in their last 9. A win at Allen Fieldhouse, a 22-point home win over BYU.
Boy, if hands were up there, Fulks could have got that pass.
Harris. Wide left, Knights ball.
Nice job by Stillwell to stay in front and force a really tough 2.
Boy, if you just keep an eye on him and don't always focus on the ball, you can understand why Johnny Dawkins is such a big fan of all of the ways he can help you win. But he just ran into Mustafa Cham and paid the price. Tillery's hit one. He's hit again.
Boy, the penetration gets the defense to contract. Stillwell had to come in to try to stop the drive, and that just leaves a wide open shooter. These catch and shoot threes have been the issue for UCF, giving them up to Cincinnati.
The bad news is Cincinnati's just 2 for 12 from 2-point range. The good news, they're 5 for 7 from 3-point range, and they are up by 10. The SEC tournament coming from Nashville again. What a great vibe in that city when that event is going on, and a loaded conference, of course. Kentucky beating LSU by 5. They have advanced into round 2. You've got other first-round games coming up today and tonight, and then some of the higher-seeded teams get going tomorrow, or maybe not till Friday. For folks who haven't seen maybe that much of that league, how did Florida get to where they are right now? And where they are right now is playing about as well as any team in the country.
Yeah, Florida's the #1 seed. And early in the season, as you know, they played an extraordinarily difficult schedule, but they had a completely new backcourt.
Pacheco with a corner three.
Boy, great drive along the baseline. But Florida's gotten stable play from their backcourt, from Boogie Fland and Xavier Lee. Fland transferring in from Arkansas, Xavier Lee from Princeton. And really good contributions off the bench. But that front court led by Thomas Houck and Alex Condon and Ruben Chinyelu is legit. There's not a better one in the country.
Sincere Harris at the line for Cincinnati to shoot a pair. A starter at West Virginia a season ago. Also has played a year at Illinois, his third school in 3 years. The foul was on Stillwell, and he has checked out of the game now for the Knights.
I remember the first time I saw Sincere Harris when he was at Illinois. They played in the Garden, and you're just mesmerized watching him defend. Right now he's taking on Jordan Burks, who's an outstanding player, and giving up some size.
The three in and out for Burks. The offensive rebound, and one for John Bull.
Boy, nobody turned around to block out John Bull for the easy stick back, and he'll get a free throw after this timeout.
A guy who's getting better and better, and the Knights need it right now as they try to stay in this. Back within 6 now against Cincinnati. Back and forth they go here in Kansas City. The Bearcats knocking down threes, and the Knights trying to get to the rim.
Names, you got Boopy and Baba. Dressing up the last name Miller.
John Bull, the 7'2" sophomore from South Sudan, at the line for the Knights, completes the three-point play. South Sudan is a country that is really starting to become a much, much bigger factor in basketball. If you remember watching the Olympics, they almost beat the United States in an exhibition game, and then they played well in the Olympics itself, who kind of became the darlings of the tournament. More and more players coming out of places like South Sudan, Senegal, where Mustafa Cham is from. Good ball movement. Tillery on the drive, kicks it out.
Boy, you got to shoot that ball.
That's Sean Abayev, a 6'8" freshman from Broward County, Florida, who had an open look, instead put it on the deck and traveled.
And Abayev is a good shooter. He hadn't shot it well on the season, but of late, when he gets a catch and shoot, time and space, he can knock it down.
He's getting more minutes earlier on in the season than he's getting now. Seamus Folks has yet to score in this game. He does have 3 assists, but he is their second leading scorer, better than 14 a game.
He's getting a lot of attention from the Cincinnati defense. Such a good passer.
Look at this matchup. Bull and Cham. Abayev down with a rebound.
Whenever UCF is getting 2 on the ball, Cincinnati's done a good job of passing out of it. And Keyshawn Tillery, he has 14 threes on the season entering this game. He's already hit 2 in this one on ball reversals.
Miller looking inside for Cham. Now Tillery. Back to Miller. Floats it up, but he traveled too many steps on his way to the rim.
Usually really good operating out of that short roll, where Baba Miller can be a short roll playmaker, but just dragged that pivot foot on the catch.
Do you attribute this low score to good defense or choppy offense?
Both. A little bit of both. And Wednesday afternoon. You know, back when these were conferences instead of consortiums, you know, everybody played on Friday, you know, in the traditional 8-team league back in the dark ages. But the world is different now, and it is hard to play in some of these afternoon games when you're looking at playing 4, sometimes 5 games to win a championship.
That last bucket by Themis Folks, his first 2 points of the afternoon. And a good job there by Day Thomas. Knew exactly what he wanted to do, and he got it done. Got his man in the air, and he's going to the line.
Well, got the switch, and Devin Cambridge just can't bite on that little fake. If he takes that shot with a little pressure on him, that's a tough 2. But sometimes as a defender, you're trying to take away everything instead of just force him into the tough shot.
2 on Devin Cambridge. Thomas, an excellent free throw shooter, 89% on the season.
He's knocked down over 73s on the season. Had that 26-point game against Oklahoma State. And he led Cincinnati in steals last season.
Missed the second, Bull the rebound. A 4-point lead for the Bearcats. Less than 6 minutes to go first half.
Good fake.
Burks to Bull. And Bull got rid of it very quickly and turned it over. What made Johnny Dawkins so special as a player?
Well, one, he was a great teammate. And Johnny Dawkins, I played pickup ball with him. It was the first time I met him in Washington, D.C. And I left that playground thinking, I just played with Superman.
Wow.
He was Allen Iverson before Allen Iverson was born.
And the same class, right? All 4 years together.
Played all 4 years together. I set a lot of screens for him. Never got a thank you note.
There you are. Back in the day, both of you looking a little bit younger, a little bit more hair back in the 80s.
A little bit more hair.
A member of the National Collegiate Basketball Hall of Fame, a 2-time All-American, better than 2,500 points.
Until J.J. Redick broke his record in 2006. He held that record for 20 years. Just an amazing basketball player.
Boy, Cincinnati does not give you much room to maneuver. Bull will put it up and hit to make it a 2-point game.
Boy, nice touch by John Bull. That is an unusual motion that he has. Puts a lot of side spin on it, even his free throws.
At one point, Cincinnati was up by 10. The Knights have cut back into it, down to 2.
Boy, nice job by Stillwell to push Miller off the block.
Miller spins off the glass. No. Follow. No. Miller's got it again. And it's out of bounds. Might have rushed that pass a little bit, and it's back to the Knights.
Yeah, that pass was unnecessary by Baba Miller.
And Baba Miller just got teed up. I would imagine that he wanted a foul call. There's the shot by Bull at the other end. Baba Miller frustrated. My guess would be he thought he had earned a trip to the free throw line, and saying something to Tony Padilla, who immediately teed him up. And remember, a technical counts as a personal. That's now 2 on Baba Miller.
Jordan Burke started his career at Kentucky before transferring to Georgetown. And he's had a good year. Averages about 13 a game. Good 3-point shooter.
They're really balanced, right? They don't depend on just 1 or 2 guys for offense.
They don't. What they really depend on is Themis Folks getting everything going. He's the conductor out there, an excellent handler, and really one of the best passers in the country. Second in the Big 12 in assists, just under 7 a game.
This is Folks. Had to put the brakes on, trapped on the baseline, out of bounds. Still UCF ball with 9 on the shot clock.
A really nice job by Keyshawn Tillery to stay in front and just angle Themis Folks to the sideline. You can't always cut a player off completely on a drive, but if you can angle him to the sideline, you can really put the offense in a bad spot.
Stillwell turns to the bucket and lays it in, and UCF has the lead.
Well, I don't know why Jalen Celestine decided he wanted to deny a pass out top. You got to stay between your man and the basket. He got to the top side of Stillwell and just opened up the gate for an easy bucket.
Tillery behind a screen, misses the three. Stillwell, another rebound in traffic.
Well, UCF has done a good job of paint defense, and they weren't deterred by Cincinnati hitting a few threes to start the game.
And the Bearcats have now missed 6 of their last 7 shots from the field. Kugel misses a 3. Harris the rebound.
Boy, Fulks just creates so much offense for his teammates.
Well, you can tell Celestine is shooting the ball well. Absolutely no hesitation putting that one up.
Got to give UCF credit. They've hung in there after a tough start.
Bull, not this time. Celestine the rebound.
Those are tough shots. Bull hit that one just around the short corner. But that mid-range push shot is difficult.
He shoots 76% from the season, or from the field on the season. You know he's getting to the rim, right around the rim more often than not.
Wow.
Another 3 for Chom, his 2nd of the game.
And he has been much more aggressive without hesitation taking that shot. That's just his 14th 3 on the season.
2 for 2 in this game. Cincinnati now 6 for 11 from 3. UCF just 2 for 10. And a foul on Tillery. 2:36 to go in the first half. As expected, it's tight. ESPN is up by 2 on UCF. It's the 8-9 game. It's a couple of bubble teams. They've split 2 regular season meetings.
And right now, Baba Miller's not in the game for Cincinnati. What a drive by Riley Kugel. But Wes Miller's got to get Baba Miller untracked. I mean, he hadn't scored in this game, and he's got 5 turnovers, 7 turnovers overall for Cincinnati. And when Cincinnati's gotten a piece of the paint, that's what's opened up those 3-point shots that they've been hitting. But UCF's done a pretty good job at defending the paint throughout the first half.
Let's check in with Chris.
Wes Miller with a plea to his team during that last time out. He said, you have to be the tougher team and you have to be the mentally tougher team. We cannot let them break our will. Our season's on the line. If you make a mistake, go back on the other end, get a defensive rebound. We cannot let them break us.
Well, and I think the players know the situation. You like the honesty. You understand the urgency. When a coach says in a huddle, our season is on the line, you got to respond.
Well, and it sounds a lot like the conversations that Chris Budden and I have going into each broadcast. We can't let Dan break us.
Keep on trying. That's going to go. What a finish there for Chom.
Fomena spent too much time worrying about the ball. That was a high screen set by Chom, and that just opened up the lane for him to roll right down it. But it's either got to be Burke stepping into tag, or Fomena's got to get back quicker. Boy, what a terrific job after the contact by Chom to get that to go. That's great concentration by the big guy who played at UCF last year.
And again, a guy who has taken his game to an entirely different level in recent weeks. 18 points per game in his last 8. His free throw percentage way up from earlier on in the season. As you mentioned, an honorable mention All Big 12 player this year. He is turning into a real force in the front court for the Bearcats.
Had a double-double against Utah. 14 points, 10 rebounds. He blocked a couple of shots. His rim running is really important to this Cincinnati team in transition. There's Sincere Harris knocking the ball away.
Tillery. High arcing 3 from the corner, won't go for Thomas, but Tillery runs it down, but stepped out of bounds. Wes Miller clapping, though. He likes the hustle. He likes the energy he has seen from his team coming out of that last time out.
Well, it seems like when Cincinnati can get the ball into the paint, even on that baseline drive, then you can kick it out, and those are step-in threes. Those are the good shots. And Cincinnati's not a great shooting team by percentage, so that means the better quality shot, the better chance you have to make it.
Folks, couple of shot fakes and gets it to go. Themis Folks with his second field goal of the game.
Not a bad job at all by Day Thomas. He forced a difficult shot. Just a nice touch by Themis Folks.
Tillery getting a lot of court time here off the bench in the first half. Harris looking inside for Chom, now back up top. Tillery now on the drive. Into the paint, and somehow that won't go down.
Boy, what a good drive to get his shoulders past Chris Johnson. Just couldn't get it to go with the right hand. But Tillery's had some good moments in this game.
Stillwell doubled. Burks. Extra pass into the corner. Johnson no. And wrapping it up is Chom.
Chom with his presence inside forced what could have been a layup to be a perimeter shot.
How about 11 points, 7 rebounds already in this game for Mustafa Chom. Wes Miller will use a timeout here in the final minute of the first half.
To John Shire to take over that Miami program, and he recruited very effectively. That's a good basketball team, Miami, firmly in the tournament.
Both Miamis are having a very good year.
Well, one Miami's having a historic year. I mean, what is it, 31-0 for Travis Steele's team? I'd
be down for Miami against Miami at some point in the NCAA tournament.
I think most of the intrigue with Miami of Ohio, is Travis Steele. Will he have to wear the Speedo?
Reese Davis is the one responsible for throwing that out there, I believe. Right?
Reese gets a lot of credit for being a nice guy.
Right.
And clearly, the way he goaded Travis Steele into doing the Speedo thing, that's not true. And he wears a toupee.
We got free throws coming here for Celestine. Grad student from Ajax, Ontario. Previously played at Cal and Baylor. Only 8.5 points per game on the season, but again, shooting the ball very well. The numbers are climbing for him here late in the year.
Yeah, coming into this game, his last 4 games, it's been over 14 points a game. He's 15 of 24 from 3 coming into this one.
Misses the front end, and now UCF can hold for the last shot and a chance to take the lead here.
Remember, Baba Miller's been out of the game for an extended period after picking up that technical foul. That was his second foul.
Folks trying to get away from Tillery. Not easy to do. Gets the shot off, can't hit, follow no, and that's it. Stillwell thought he got hit on the arm. It looked like he might have had a case. But that is how the first half will come to a close here in Kansas City. Physical, low scoring, and close. Mustafa Chom having a terrific first half, 11-7 for the Bears.
Too much, and the offense has been stagnant because of that.
That pass to dribble ratio, you referenced it in the first game with respect to Iowa State, how much they were moving the ball and how much Arizona State was dribbling as opposed to passing. It sure feels sometimes like if the pass to dribble ratio is good, chances are things are going pretty well for you.
Well, when the ball's moving, you're moving the defense. And a set defense isn't going to make as many mistakes as a defense that has to make a number of decisions and communicate.
That's a kick ball, so put the shot clock back to 20. The 8-9 game here in the Big 12. Both bubble teams. The winner will play Arizona in a quarterfinal matchup tomorrow.
You know, a lot of this game is about tendencies. And Chom is having a terrific game. You leave him open. You just can't dare him to shoot these perimeter shots.
He's got 13 in this game, almost twice as many as anybody else has. John Bull's got 7 for UCF. Nobody else has more than 6. Chom has been the dominant player in this game thus far.
But this game's about tendencies. There are things you want to take away, and UCF wants to take away the interior. And he'll live with Cincinnati taking and making some threes in order to shut off the interior.
Tough one for Miller. Tried to run down the rebound. He's a little bit slow to get up, and at the moment the Knights have numbers. Miller now back into the play.
Well, anytime you're spending time on your back, that's time you're not defending.
Riley Kugel with a 3.
UCF had numbers because Baba Miller took on 2 defenders and wound up hitting the deck. Then it was 5-on-4.
Tied at 29 early in the second half. Chom spinning, kicks it out. And the three will not stay down for Day Thomas, who had a good look at it.
Well, UCF, a nice pass to the corner. Great touch pass from Jordan Burks to Riley Kugel. And Burks has a lot of attention as a three-point shooter. They want to be there on the catch.
Celestine almost falling out of bounds, and then Jizzle James was out of bounds when he caught the pass. So it's UCF ball. That's not what Wes Miller wants to see when you're inbounding the ball in the front court.
That's supposed to be a simple thing, but UCF made it difficult. Little elevator screen for Kugel.
Wants it back from Stillwell. And draws a foul on Thomas.
Well, Day Thomas trying to get over the top of that screen. Baba Miller in drop coverage. And Kugel looking to take on that secondary defender, but got fouled first.
Kugel is explosive. Again, their leading scorer just under 15, but when he gets going, he can put up much bigger numbers than that.
Well, he's averaged 20 a game over his last 3 games. 9 of 18 from 3 coming into this one over that 3-game period.
Two-man game with Bowl. Hoyce doesn't hit. Battle for the rebound is won by Chom.
Well, Chom has done such a good job in this game. He has been a presence at both ends of the floor.
And as you mentioned, a transfer from UCF a year ago. Chom never really got his feet set on that jumper. It all starts with Fultz offensively for the Knights. Stillwell passed up the 15-footer, bulls his way in, and can't finish.
Boy, he's having to go over size and length with Chom and Baba Miller by the bucket.
And off Miller's leg, out of bounds, back to the Knights.
Boy, good job by Stillwell to stay in front. And that's the 6th turnover now for Baba Miller.
Let me ask you, you've got a guy in Stillwell 6'8", Miller's 6'11". Stillwell's stronger, Miller's longer. Which is a tougher matchup for these two guys?
Well, it depends how you play. The one thing that Stillwell does is he can get up underneath Baba Miller, but Miller's got to use movement to combat that.
A little bit off balance. Bowl just kind of threw it up there, but got fouled.
Well, Celestine had that elbow kind of right in his midriff, pushing him back. Smart of him to shoot it to pick up the foul so he gets a couple free throws.
Not a big-time offensive player, but again, their leading scorer so far in this game, and he has had some moments at 14 against Texas Tech, at 14 last week against Oklahoma State. But boy, it's an unusual-looking release, isn't it, on the line?
It's a side spin. You know, he gets that right hand going on the right side of the ball, and so you have that right to left spin on it. But both those games you talked about against Texas Tech and Oklahoma State, Bowl not only had 28 points combined, but he had 19 rebounds in those 2 games.
That is about as unusual a release and spin on the free throw line as you will see. Missed them both, still tied in this low-scoring affair. Celestine slipped, back up, 12 on the shot clock. Did Miller get going? Looking for his first points. And determined to at least get to the free throw line.
And those are the fouls that defenders hate because it's offense-initiated contact. And Cambridge just brought that left arm down. But oftentimes you're saying, wait a minute, what do you want me to do? Like the guy just went right into me. That's offense-initiated contact.
And that's what Cambridge is saying to Chance Moore, one of the officials. It's his 3rd. And it'll get Miller to the line with a chance to pick up his first points of the game. This is a second-team All-Big 12 performer this year. Yesterday against Utah, 11 points, 14 rebounds, and 6 assists. And those are the kinds of lines that Miller can put up.
Well, Baba Miller's averaging a double-double. And he's going to be the first player in quite a while in a Cincinnati uniform to do that.
The only other player in the Big 12 who has averaged a double-double this season, unfortunately is out for the year. That's J.T. Toppin at Texas Tech.
Well, it shows you how difficult it is to do.
Made them both. Cincinnati by 2.
So it's so hard to make a cut against Cincinnati because they're physical with you on cuts.
Kugel, no. Bull almost had it, couldn't squeeze it. And now the Bearcats. Cham has hit 2 threes already today. He's hit another.
All of a sudden he's Steph Curry.
Came in 12 for 48 on the season. Is 3 for 3 today. Fultz, open man Kugel. Couldn't answer. Offensive rebound, though, and Burks lays it back in.
Boy, that was a great screen by Devin Cambridge to free up Riley Kugel on the right side. And there was nobody there to block out Jordan Burks. And Burks was smart. Oftentimes, from the corner, that rebound's going to come out long, and he positioned himself really nicely.
Chipped away out of bounds by Burks. Nice defensive play. To take us to a timeout, Mustafa Cham has picked up in the second half where he left off in the first. His 3rd 3 of the game and a game-high 16. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Principal. Let's build a retirement and benefits plan that works for your team. Has Cincinnati just on the wrong side of the bubble, but as they say, Jay, it would behoove you to win if you are that close to the bubble, and this one, not surprisingly, is a very tight game.
Well, what you really want to do is take it out of the hands of the committee, because you lose this time of year. A little 1-3-1 now for UCF.
And a lob over the top that sails out of bounds. The Bearcats immediately turn it over.
Well, that was a set play. You had Cham coming up from the baseline into the middle to open up that lane for Baba Miller. Just overthrew it.
Folks. Back to him. 12 on the shot clock. Shovels it off to Kugel in the corner.
Cincinnati's help side has been so good.
Burks. Somebody's got to get a shot off here soon. It'll be Cambridge who draws a foul.
A late decision, and Burks did not panic when he got the ball in the lane. That would have been an easy one to just throw up because the clock is going down, but instead he kept his poise and found Cambridge.
And that is number 3 on Baba Miller.
I think Cambridge started his college career when I was in high school.
A 7th-year player. So keep in mind, anybody who played in the COVID year, that year doesn't count. You got that year back, and he has had 2 medical redshirt seasons. So a 7th-year player who is playing in his 172nd collegiate game.
Started his career out at Auburn playing for Bruce Pearl.
1 of 2 in a 2-point game. Cham the screen. Jizzle James turns it over. It has been a very quiet day for James today. Just 1 for 3, 3 points for a guy who averages 11 a game. As you see coming up tonight, more action here in Champ Week from the Big 12 Men's Tournament. West Virginia, BYU, A.J. Devonsa 40 last night in a win over Kansas State. We'll see what he has in store for the Mountaineers and what they have in store for him tonight. Good defense by Kugel.
Yeah, he blew right by Cambridge, and Kugel came over to knock that ball out of bounds. Good help side defense by Riley Kugel.
11 to shoot. Thomas splits a couple, gets to the rim, can't finish. Tip no good. Cham no good, and it's finally UCF ball.
Well, Cham has done a good job on the glass. Not a very smart pass by Themis Fultz. Well, what was Burks going to do with it if he caught it? That's the thing. You're leading him to the corner on the run. Just not a very smart decision by usually a very smart player in Themis Folks. Boy, Cham has just been all over the place in this game.
He's got 12 rebounds to go with his 16 points.
And in a game where Baba Miller hasn't offered Cincinnati much on either end of the floor.
The reverse won't go, but free throws coming.
That was just a great cut by Tillery.
He was slow to get up. It seems to be all right.
Beautiful cut. Themis Folks got caught ball watching a little bit. And he just cut right behind him along the baseline. And that needle was threaded. Heck of a play, heck of a catch.
Tillery, a top 50 recruit, had a couple of threes and 8 points in 16 minutes off the bench in the win over Utah yesterday.
He's just a tough player.
Yeah. You know, I'm sure you and I remember very well, you better than me probably, you talk about tough teams. Did anybody have tougher teams than the Bob Huggins Cincinnati teams back in the day and had great success? This is a program, as you will know, I mean, has had tremendous success. This is the 125th season of Cincinnati basketball. Won a couple of national championships back in the early 60s. Oscar Robertson, one of the great all-time players ever, played at Cincinnati. Although left the year before they won those 2 national championships. 6 Final Fours, the great Bob Huggins teams we've talked about. There is a very, very proud tradition in this Bearcats program.
And they had a heck of a pitcher that went to Cincinnati on a basketball scholarship.
Not bad.
Sandy Koufax.
That's right.
Had a basketball scholarship.
That's right.
From Ed Jucker.
And wound up being a Hall of Famer on the mound with your beloved Dodgers.
Everyone's beloved Dodgers.
Too soon. Corner 3 for Jizzle James, and the lead grows for the Bearcats.
And after a questionable shot by UCF, that opened up a little bit of transition where UCF was scrambling back.
And Johnny Dawkins wants a timeout in a game where points have been hard to come by. 7 points feels like a significant advantage right now.
Well, after Stillwell took a really difficult shot, that put the transition defense of UCF in a bit of a bind. And open in the left corner. A terrific shot by Jizzle James. I love saying Jizzle.
Welcome back. The Cincinnati Bearcats are now up by 7, and Mustafa Cham, really, Jay, a force at both ends of the floor.
He's been a presence on the defensive end, blocking 2 shots, changing multiple others, running the floor. You put him in pick and roll, and he rolls all the way to the basket, catches a lob, and finishes to get an N1. And then he has shot the ball from the perimeter very well. That's one of his few 2s, but he's hit 3 threes in this game for 16 points, 12 rebounds, and 2 blocks. He's essentially been the offense for the Cincinnati team in a game where Baba Miller, their leading scorer and leading rebounder, has not played anywhere near his best.
Nobody else on either side has more than 8 points in this game, and Cham's got 16.
Getting into a little horn set now. Horns fade.
Now they bring Pacheco in to shoot. Got a clean look on the play design in the huddle, but couldn't hit it. And that's going to be a travel. And you could see Harris knew it. He was hoping somebody would come and get the basketball, but nobody got there in time.
Another turnover for Cincinnati. But UCF has to get some movement to get something going offensively. We're going back to that horn set again.
Pacheco inside the arc, out to Kugel. Just so tough to get around these Cincinnati defenders, but Kugel using some strength to elevate and finish it.
Yeah, he delivered a bump to Sincere Harris to try to get rid of him. It was really tough to create that space. That was a tough 2 for Riley Kugel. But that's the kind of shots you're going to have to make against Cincinnati. This is not going to be pretty.
Tillery just keeps on going and lays it in.
Boy, beautiful off the pick and roll to take on Bowl and get to the other side of the rim so he couldn't block it. That was gorgeous.
Tillery averages 3.5. He's got 10 today. Stillwell, you talk about initiating contact. Into the corner, Johnson no. And Bull runs it down. So another opportunity here for the Knights. And Stillwell hacked by Harris.
Boy, really good job by Stillwell to basically set that screen and then post up Sincere Harris on the switch so that he had that room. That's just a beautiful play by Tillery off the pick and roll.
And that's just all the guard making a split-second decision when he reads the defense, right?
Well, it's more of a late decision, but he took on the help defender and just did a great job of getting to the other side of the rim. Just really smart basketball. Taken it up another level since Koa Pete and Dwayne Airstone came back from those injuries. And Koa Pete is such an impactful player at both ends of the floor, just a freshman. But the second leading scorer for Arizona behind Braden Burry is another freshman.
How would you feel? You're playing Arizona. Koa Pete goes out. Tobe Awaka comes in. That's the kind of stuff you're dealing with. Let's go to Chris.
Johnny Dawkins during that timeout said we have to be able to take advantage of transition offensively, wear them down. Our depth is better than theirs. And if the pass isn't open once that we get set, drive it downhill to the basket.
Chris, thank you. Not a lot of transition opportunities in this game. Obviously, if you're going to try to have transition against Cincinnati, they got to miss. You got to get the rebound. You got to go fast. But it's kind of easier said than done against the Bearcats.
Well, UCF has gotten stops. It's not like Cincinnati's put up 85 points in this game, but the transition points are difficult to get. Cincinnati is one of the best transition defensive teams in the country. They only allow just over 6 points a game on fast break points, and they've only allowed 3 to UCF in this game.
A touch for Baba Miller, who has had a very quiet day.
He's all alone now.
Bounce pass into Chom. Turnaround, tough shot, and it goes.
Boy, Riley Kugel came from the baseline side just a little bit late getting there, and Chom just turned toward the middle. And that release is so high, you really can't bother it. Boy, when Stillwell catches that ball, he should drive it.
He's driving it now, and a whistle and a foul.
When Chom catches this ball down in the low post, a lot of big guys are going to turn over their right shoulder. But he catches it, shows some poise, looks middle, nobody's coming. Kugel comes from the baseline side, but he's already into his move over the left shoulder. And that's not an easy shot. He just made it look easy.
Stillwell did what he could, but Stillwell is 6'8". Chom is 7'2". So it's a whole different story for UCF when John Bowl is not on the court.
And with that high release for Chom, he might as well be 8 feet tall.
Stillwell back to the free throw line where he made a pair as Bowl looks on from the bench.
I am jealous of that hair. Any hair.
We are jealous. Let's be real here. We're jealous of anybody's hair. Talking to Johnny Dawkins yesterday, both Themis Folks and Jermichael Stillwell, they both came from Milwaukee. And I asked Johnny if it was kind of a package deal, like they want to play together. And he said, no, not really. He said, we were in on Folks talking to Themis. Themis was coming. And then he said, you know, Coach, he goes, I really think you'd like Stillwell. I really think you guys should have a look at Jermichael Stillwell. And eventually they made that work. And the two teammates came together from Milwaukee to Central Florida to Orlando to play for UCF.
Well, both those players have been well coached, not just by Johnny Dawkins, but at Milwaukee they played for Bart Lundy, an outstanding basketball coach who was at Queens University back when they were Division II. And Queens University this year under Grant Leonard made the tournament in their third, I think it was their first or second year of eligibility for the tournament out of the Atlantic Sun.
Another touch for Chom, but in a tough spot. Finds Thomas. The shot clock was going down, so he heaved a three and got fouled by Riley Kugel.
Boy, not a good decision by Riley Kugel to foul there. Just put some late pressure. That was a tough pass into Chom because it was essentially leading him out of bounds. But this is the last thing you want to do on a desperation shot. There wasn't a lot of contact there, but the official behind the play, it looked like there was more.
So 3 free throws coming for Day Thomas.
Oh, that's a backbreaker right there.
Johnny Dawkins trying to get the Knights back to the tournament for the first time since 2019.
That 2019 team, that was the one that lost to Duke in the NCAA tournament. Zion Williamson, R.J. Barrett, and Johnny Dawkins' son, Aubrey Dawkins, had a tip-in that would have won the game. Well, UCF played so well, not only that year, but in that game. That was a remarkable basketball game.
Thomas, an 89% free throw shooter, makes all 3.
Well, this is where UCF has to have a basket.
Stillwell back out to Burks. Lots of time. Tipped away. Pacheco out to Johnson. 10 on the clock.
But UCF's help side has been excellent.
Johnson, no. Rebound Stillwell. Can't get it to go over the length of Miller. It will stay with the Knights.
The length of Miller and the length of Chom just to his left. And you don't have to block the shot with that kind of size and length. You're just there to bother it and force the really tough 2.
Burks too strong on the 3. Good rebound by Thomas, and he got fouled.
Well, Burks has not been able to find many open shots, and establishing rhythm against Cincinnati offensively is really difficult because of how good the Bearcats are defensively, how physical they are. And you know, basketball is a rhythm game. You try to establish yours and disrupt theirs, and Cincinnati has been disruptive all game long.
And Jay, that is a significant foul. Jamichael Stillwell just picked up number 4 with 10:10 to go. And are the officials going to the monitor? It appears they are. Is it possible they're looking at maybe upgrading something? Don't want to jump to any conclusions until we see any video or get any official word from the other side of the court. But right now the officials are at the monitor and the teams are huddling. A little nudge with his right foot.
That's nothing.
And doesn't look like there's anything. So there was the original personal foul. Again, that is number 4. So because of that, Stillwell is going to the bench. So now you look at this UCF team, Jay, and they are smaller. Without Stillwell at the 4 spot, Devin Cambridge right now is on Baba Miller. Can Miller take advantage?
You might want to look high-low. There's the roll replace action.
Thomas off the glass. No. Rebound Pacheco. Cross court look for Burks. Miller out there in a hurry. Folks off the foot of Chom, and it is Cincinnati ball. Some of the UCF bench wanted a kick ball, but he didn't like stick his leg out or anything. It just hit his foot and bounced to his teammate, and they play on. Nice look. Celestine knocks down a 3, his second of the game.
Boy, with Chom rolling and then the shake action coming up from the corner, those are the kind of shots you don't want to allow Celestine, who can really catch and shoot. You have to make him put it on the deck.
Made a 3 in the opening minutes of the game. Those are his first points since, and this is currently the largest lead of the game for either team. Cincinnati up by 12.
And UCF just can't get a shot from the perimeter to go down. Normally a reliable three-point shooting team.
Burks is fouled and will head to the line. Let's go back and look at the second 3 of the afternoon for Jalen Celestine.
When Chom rolls, you got to tag the roll. And then Celestine wide open on what they call shake action when you come up from the corner. So the roll's going to the basket, the shake comes up from the corner, and then Themis Fulks has to try to stop Cham, just get in his way, give him a little bump so he doesn't have a clear path, and recover out to a shooter.
You know, as you mentioned earlier, this Bearcats team is not known as a great three-point shooting team because the numbers just don't support the fact that they're a great three-point shooting team. But the last 8-9 games, because of Celestine and others, they have been much, much better. And they're 9 for 16 from 3 here today.
And what they've done over those last 9 games, they've guarded the 3 very well. They've allowed only 29% from their opponents. And in this game, I mean, what is UCF, 3 for 20?
So Cincinnati has 18 more points from behind the arc than UCF has in this game. Nice look inside. Bull recovers defensively. Tillery down to Tyler McKinley, who is into the game, and he traveled. McKinley, a 6'9" redshirt freshman from Cincinnati. But where they have separated themselves is at this end of the floor with their defense. There's a foul, though, on Tillery. And Cincinnati is over the limit. Was it on Tillery? No, Baba Miller picks up the foul, and that's his 4th.
Well, this is still just a 10-point game. And UCF has not been able to get anything to go down on the offensive end. They have really struggled to shoot the ball. But you knock it down a couple of points here, get a stop, get another score, and all of a sudden you got a 2-possession game. There's some more game pressure on Cincinnati.
Cambridge at the line, 1-1. Selection Sunday is now just days away. It all starts at 6 Eastern with SportsCenter on ESPN. Reese and the guys look at the men's field of 68 as the brackets are announced, followed by bracketology and a breakdown of each region. And then at 8, the women's field of 68 is revealed, followed by bracketology at 9. It's all on ESPN and the app.
Reese and the guys.
Reese
there you go.
And the guys.
You know, we have names.
Write them down for me, would you?
Reese and the deplorable.
Dan Schulman, Jay Billis, I believe, Chris Budden, I'm quite sure of, here in Kansas City. Second round action of the Big 12 tournament. 8-9 game, and the Bearcats up on the Knights by 9. Rebound Bull. Burks tipped away by Cham.
Boy, what a play.
And how about the big guy leading him up the floor, picked up his dribble, made a wise decision there. But boy, is he impacting this game in a lot of ways. Turnaround will go. 2 more for Celestine, and it's back to a double-digit lead.
That was a big-time move by Celestine.
Whoa! Burks at the other end with an answer.
And one of the few transition baskets, that one after a made bucket. But Celestine looked like he was going to take the ball under the basket and out the other side. That was just a terrific play.
Cham, not this time. His first miss from behind the arc. He's now 3 for 4. Bull snaps it right back to Burks. We've got 7 minutes to go in this one. Bearcats by 9. Burks into the paint. Cannot get it to go. Tough defense.
And James did a nice job, or excuse me, J.J. Thomas did a nice job of staying in between Burks and the basket. Even though he's smaller, he used his leverage.
Burks is 6'9". Thomas is 6'1". Fulks. Pacheco, a clean look. And Bull with the rebound, but we've got a whistle and a foul underneath. His bodies are flying.
Not sure whether that went on Cambridge or what happened there.
It looks like J.J. Thomas of Cincinnati called for the foul. UCF trying to do what it can to hang in. It's 32 to go in this one here in Kansas City. It is Cincinnati leading UCF 51-42. The Bearcats 9 for 17 from 3. Again, we've mentioned this a couple of times already. Joe Lunardi has UCF as one of his last 4 in, the top team among his last 4 in. So in, but not super safe and secure. Cincinnati first 4. 4 out. They can improve their lot with a win today. Chris Button has more.
Wes Miller during that huddle told his guys 6 minutes is a long time. I need you to keep up the defensive intensity, run the end of the floor. There's too much talking instead of just hustling. I need all gas, no brakes.
Chris, thank you. All gas, no brakes for 6.5 minutes could get them a very significant win. The winner to get the top seed in the Big 12, Arizona, tomorrow. And a missed front end by Cambridge. Boy, that is costly when you're trying to make up a deficit. Celestine dribbled it off his foot out of bounds.
There's just nowhere to go there. And that's just an unforced error when you're going against John Bull and you can't get an angle.
And Jay Stillwell back into the game with 4 fouls. Cambridge is out.
UCF needs to get a shot to go down. They're 3 of 21 from 3 and just not a good possession. They're fortunate there to keep hold of the ball.
Interesting matchup. Stillwell and Baba Miller on one another, each of them playing with 4 fouls.
UCF has to be able to get a piece of the paint where they can play out of it.
Burks, a long 2 won't go. Stillwell, the offensive rebound. Fulks, the penetration, blocked. And it is out of bounds, and it will stay at this end of the floor for UCF. Oh, he didn't block it. He just slipped. It just slipped out of the hand of Fulks. Bull. Fulks again. Back to Bull. Wide open. Will not take the 15-footer. Instead, with the shot clock running down, he stepped back, realized it, and took a tougher shot.
Just hesitant to take that first one when he was wide open, and then realized that the shot clock was going down. He had to get something up. But just another really good possession defensively for Cincinnati. Cincinnati has made everything difficult. A little 1-2, 1-1, 3/4 court pressure. UCF has to force some turnovers.
The Knights have averaged 82 points per game this season. They are barely halfway there with 5:35 to go in the second half.
Well, Cincinnati has turned them into a half-court team. There's been nothing in transition.
Miller trying to get around Stillwell, who would have nothing of it. A great defensive play there by Jamichael Stillwell. Kugel keeps the dribble alive. Bull, it rolls in.
Boy, nice touch by Bull. That was not an easy shot, but this is where you have to have a stop. Got a 7-point deficit to make up. You get a stop and a score, and we got a ball game.
James, good help there by Bull. Miller, Chom, who's been the best player in this game, elevates, short. Rebound, Celestine. Thomas misses a 3, and Burke skies for the rebound.
Boy, that was a huge stop for UCF. Now, can they get a score and put some real pressure on Cincinnati?
Burke sees a lane. Shielded off the defender, but couldn't hit it. And a foul underneath.
Boy, what a great job by Chom. Just to vertically challenge at the rim. Talk about straight up and down, and Burks had to use that off arm just to try to keep some space to get that over Chom. That's a great vertical contest. Just go straight up, use your length, and make it really difficult around the basket for Burks to finish that play.
And the foul on Burks is the 7th on the team this half. So the Bearcats are into the bonus. 1-1 for Baba Miller. He does have 9 rebounds today. That's the good news. But that's only his 3rd point of the game. He's turned it over 7 times. Had a technical foul in the first half. And again, this, you can make a case this is their most important player. This is their best player. A second-team All-Big 12 performer. An off day for him, but they've still got the lead. Made them both.
Boy, that was a big play by Chom. UCF gets a score there. Things feel a little bit different. This gives them a little more breathing room. Good switch.
Stillwell up and in. He's a player.
And did that through contact.
He's having a tough day from the field. He's got 9 points, just 3 for 12 from the field. Has 11 rebounds as well.
Well, everyone from UCF's had a tough day from the field because of the Cincinnati defense. That's been the primary reason.
They are shooting only 28% from the field. Thomas. Corner three, not there for Miller. And the rebound down to Stillwell. Give him a dozen boards now.
And Miller only shoots 20% from three on the season. Shot better last year at FAU.
Folks picks up the dribble, finds Stillwell. Bangs into Miller. Look at the strength there from Stillwell.
Well, he knocked Baba Miller back into the first row. It's like trying to guard a freight train.
And they're as close as they have been in a while. 3:10 to go in a 5-point game. Celestine, air ball. 3 minutes to go.
Boy, this game takes on a different tenor if there's a score here.
And it goes and one for Kugel.
Beautiful slot drive. And got the bump and finished the play. And now UCF in a position to make something happen down the stretch. Stillwell with a couple of strong drives off the screen and space, and then driving from the elbow right into Baba Miller, and a terrific screen by Bowl to free up Kugel for the end one opportunity.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Phillips 66, proud sponsor of Big 12 basketball.
Could result in a three-point play. That's put UCF in a one-possession game now. What they've really done, Dan, they've just hung in there. And a couple of offensive mistakes by Cincinnati, I think, has helped UCF. But you got to give the Knights credit. I mean, they have hung in there in a game where they have not shot the ball well at all. And credit the Cincinnati defense with their physicality.
A missed free throw, still a 3-point game. Chris has more.
Johnny Dawkins reminding his team to just take 2 stops. Get on your man early. Don't allow Celestine any open looks.
Celestine always a threat from beyond the arc. Hit 5 yesterday, hit 2 today, hit another one right here.
Just over helping. And Jordan Burks winds up losing Celestine, and another catch and shoot opportunity. That's where he scores.
Boy, and how maddening must it be to Chris's report when a coach says the one thing you can't do is the one thing they go out and do, and they lose track of Celestine. Another rebound for Chom. And that clock just keeps on ticking. Now Kugel a foul. That'll send Day Thomas to the line.
And that's what you don't want to do, is put Cincinnati at the line at midcourt. Celestine just set a little back screen. It looked like Burks was anticipating there might be a switch. Instead, he just sets that quick screen and then goes right to the three-point line, and Burks just had to close out too long.
It goes for Thomas, now 5 for 6 from the line in this game. Well, UCF was at the line down 3, 1 free throw remaining. Had a chance to get it down to 2. And bang, it's 8 right now for the Bearcats. And Cincinnati making their free throws, 11 for 11 here in the second half. Kugel, left hand, no. Might have been bothered by Chom. Stillwell follow, yes.
Another offensive rebound for Central Florida. That's like 17 offensive rebounds in the game.
Helping to keep them in it, but they are still down 6. There's still plenty of time. Over 2 minutes left in this game, in this 8-9 matchup here in Kansas City.
Awfully difficult shot, especially with Chom in the middle, but Stillwell in the right position to grab that two-handed rebound, go straight up with it. He's got like 13 points and a double-figure rebound game.
Yep, 13 and 13. This is his 8th double-double of the season. Cincinnati first 4 out, according to Joe Lunardi. UCF last 4 in. Cincinnati leading this. Both of these teams right there in the conversation on the bubble. Both hoping to survive and advance to take on the top seed in the conference, Arizona, tomorrow.
UCF going to bring some full court pressure.
Bol, the 7-footer, is all alone in the UCF backcourt. The other 4 are up in the front court to try to force a turnover. Celestine gets it in. Ooh, Thomas almost lost it. Finds James. And a good decision by Jizzle James. Didn't need to force it. Picked it up in a tough spot, though, and turned it over. Stillwell the save. Burks, baseline drive, up and under and in, and it's a 4-point game.
Boy, beautiful shot fake to get to the basket.
And Tony Padilla, the lead official here today, blows the whistle. 1:42 to go. Cincinnati inbounding again.
And this for Cincinnati is about being strong with the ball.
Miller, James. Got to get it over, and he did not. He did not get it over in time.
Boy, what a bad mistake by Cincinnati. Wes Miller saying, hey, I was calling a timeout, but if the referees don't hear you, it doesn't really matter.
Boy, and these are experienced players who have struggled the last 2 possessions for the Bearcats.
All you have to do is get it over. There was no reason to turn around and walk that tightrope.
And if you're wondering, his left foot did get over, but you're not over till all of you is over.
And the ball.
Yes. Shot clock down to 7. Kugel still going. It goes, and it's back down to 2. A quick 6-0 run for the Knights.
Beautiful hesitation, and John Bol screened out Chom, so he couldn't get there to block the shot.
And Wes Miller uses a timeout, and you can't blame him with the way that things have gone for the Bearcats.
Jordan Burks basically playing free safety, not putting any pressure on the ball, just to be an added defender on the catch.
Celestine into James. Tipped, stolen. Kugel ties it. And that 8-point lead is gone right now into the final minute. Miller floated it up there for Chom, and it's UCF ball with a chance to take the lead.
Boy, Baba Miller, that was not a good decision. Cincinnati did not need that.
Boy, turnover after turnover in key moments, and it was Kugel who tied it. The Knights now looking for the lead with 10 on the shot clock.
Got to get something going now.
The screen by Bol. The show by Chom. 3 to shoot. It'll be Burks. And it is Cincinnati ball with the shot clock turned on. Wes Miller's going to let him play. Jizzle James with 12 seconds to go.
Well, you've had success with Chom setting a high screen. Here it comes.
5 seconds to go. Chom. He's going to have to shoot. And Wes Miller called a timeout with nothing developing. The clock only shows 0.2 of a second.
Well, the referees,
they got to look.
Yeah, they're going to look and see.
But Cincinnati just never really got anything going with any urgency as that clock kept ticking.
Well, they brought the high screen out. And then it turns out you got to throw back to Chom at 7 feet tall, 7'2". And he doesn't have any choice there. Now the question is, when did the referee grant the timeout? And you might get a couple of ticks, you know, 0.5 or something.
Wes Miller was signaling for it, it looked like, with about 2 seconds to go, but nobody heard him.
But it's when you grant it. It's not when they signal for it.
He's calling it at about 2.1, but again, you can see Tony Padilla is the official, and the arm goes up at 0.5, 0.4. But just a possession, Jay, where they took a long time getting something going, and in the end, all they would have had, is a 3 by Chom with John Bull outguarding him. Sean Abayev, who has not played this half, is the inbounder.
Watch the roll to the basket.
Thomas left it short. Might have had a little bit more time to square and release, but left the 3 short, and 40 minutes not enough to decide this one in an 8-9 matchup here at the Big 12 tournament.
Boy, give credit to UCF, not only for forcing turnovers and making some plays late, but just the mental toughness to hang in. UCF has had success attacking the basket, getting the ball, especially in the middle of the floor. Whether it's Stillwell, Kugel, get the ball into the paint. And then if you kick it out, you're kicking it out for a step-in 3.
Neither team has had a player foul out. Baba Miller for Cincinnati and Jermichael Stillwell for UCF, each playing with 4 fouls. Cincinnati ball to get it started. Miller cannot get around Stillwell, who's been guarding him well all day. Stillwell switches on to Thomas. Thomas leans in, no call. Stillwell down for the rebound, his 14th.
Boy, good job by Stillwell to switch out and then not foul.
Racing up the court is Fultz. Now Kugel, a real factor down the stretch for UCF.
UCF playing with better pace right now.
10 to shoot. Stillwell around Thomas, and UCF leads.
Just so tough, and I think that pace helped open up the lane for Fultz when he dropped it off to Stillwell. I mean, he's just a tank of a player.
15 and 14 now for Stillwell. Celestine, short. Chom the rebound. Thomas for 3. Short. Again, Chom the rebound, but a foul going against the Bearcats.
They got Chom with a little push in the back. I'm not sure there was all that much contact, but anytime you get your hands on the back of the inside player, it was Bowl, and he just got his hands on his back.
Yep. Pretty easy call for the official.
They're all easy for the officials.
Boy, one pretty good look and one really good look from 3, though, for Cincinnati, and they are 10 for 24 today, but had a couple of good ones they couldn't knock down then. Bull at the line and will knock it down. Even with that unusual release that we talked about earlier, he's a capable free throw shooter, 68% on the season.
It's kind of like a shot put. Gets it in one hand and then it just twists off.
Kind of like a slider. 4-point lead for the Knights.
Boy, those are 2 big free throws by John Bull.
They have scored 12 consecutive points going back to the last 2.5 minutes or so of regulation. Thomas tries to turn the corner. Gets it off from the elbow and hits.
Boy, really effective. Got Themis Fultz on his back coming off that ball screen. Just stopped in the middle of the lane and nailed that jumper. That was beautifully done.
3:10 to go in overtime. Fultz whips a pass to Stillwell, who banks it in.
Boy, beautiful pass on that little ball screen and space action. You know, Fultz was really smart, not taking the first action, but going back to the second action to Stillwell.
Assist number 7 on the afternoon for Themis Fultz.
Got the switch.
Thomas has to come up top to get it. Inside 10 to shoot.
Now another switch.
Again, The jumper, and again it goes. That one a little deeper, a little higher degree of difficulty, but two big buckets for Day Thomas.
Boy, he just exploded into that one dribble pull-up.
2:20 to go. Ten on the clock.
Let's Stillwell touch it.
Folks. Kugel. Stillwell, good patience, can't hit. Bol the rebound, and he is fouled.
Boy, good job by John Bol to stick his nose in there and grab that offensive rebound. Yet another offensive rebound. And Thomas with that terrific pull-up. And then Stillwell, after he sets that screen, just spaces short and knocks it in off the glass. The lost art. John wouldn't it be proud, knocking it off the glass, and another one dribble pull-up for Cincinnati.
Number 4 on Cham as Bol makes the first.
Well, you keep knocking free throws down like that, a lot of young players are going to copy this style. It's going in.
Boy, 2 huge makes there for John Bol.
That's what, 4 in a row he's made?
Yep. And back to a 4-point lead for the Knights. Thomas will try a deep one and hit it. 7 straight Cincinnati points for Day Thomas.
Well, just a little Peja action there, coming off and shooting behind the big guy. That was really nicely done.
Inside 90 seconds to go. A 1-point game. Stillwell slips. Folks driving. James stays in front of him. Clock at 5. Folks tries again. Bol. No. And Miller down with a rebound for the Bearcats, who can reclaim the lead.
Stillwell's got to be smart here and not foul.
Miller the handoff. It bounces free to Cham. And a timeout taken by Wes Miller. 55.1 to go. Day Thomas, Jay, keeping Cincinnati in it here in overtime.
Seconds remaining in this first overtime. You think about your first shot defense, but what's also equally important, if not more so, is the rebound. You can't give up if UCF cannot give up an offensive rebound here.
7 to shoot. Here goes Thomas. Folks stays in front of him. And a turnover. Could not connect with Miller. And now the Knights not rushing. About a 12-second difference between the game clock and the shot clock.
So you want to get into something pretty quickly here.
The ball in the hands of Riley Kugel. The shot clock is down to 6. Almost ran into Burks. Now he drives, and it won't go. And it's Cincinnati ball inside 10 seconds. A gamble by Kugel. Celestine short. Stillwell's got it, and he is fouled. Celestine put up a 3 with about 4 seconds left. Left it short. Kugel may be shaken up as he went flying into the table just to our right. And free throws coming for the Knights. Kugel in some difficulty right now.
Well, UCF, after that rebound by Cincinnati, was scrambling defensively. Kugel went to try to steal that ball, went right in to the scorer's table. And Celestine had to take a pull-up jumper and just short on it, and Stillwell there for yet another rebound. Boy, this has been a tough. If UCF's able to hold on, this has been a toughness win for the Knights.
Yep. Kugel appears to be all right. Baba Miller has fouled out. It is 2 free throws for Jamichael Stillwell. 1.4 on the clock. 73% on the season. He misses the first. One more coming for Stillwell.
And this is one, Dan, where a miss isn't the worst thing.
Right. Because it's going to be a three-point attempt one way or another for Cincinnati. Missed it. Tipped. And that's going to do it. The Knights win it. They come back from 8 down in the last 2 minutes of regulation, and they hang on in overtime. A big, big win for Johnny Dawkins and UCF, and potentially a devastating defeat for the Cincinnati Bearcats.